365 days ago, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out for the Nintendo Switch. And holy shit. How do I already have some nostalgic feelings for this game? Hello everyone, it's Lil Mac with another Xenoblade video. I know, surprise, surprise! I wanted to make this video purely to tell my personal experiences around the game. Because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is 1 year old. How the fuck? I also want to see where the game is now and simply just to appreciate this game because the game is so good. But did we expect otherwise from Monolith Soft? Some content of this video though contains spoilers about the course of the story. So if you haven't finished Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet, I will say lock yourself in a room and come out after 60 hours and then continue watching this video. "535 days ago, and yes, I actually calculated it. On February 9, 2022, the well-known February Nintendo Direct came. Now, I didn't really have very much that I really wanted except for one single game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. As the Direct went on and on, I became less and less confident that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was actually being announced in this Nintendo Direct. We got games like Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, which is such a good game. We also got Mario Circus Battle League and Nintendo Switch Sports, which ended up not being very good in my opinion. But after some more Nintendo headlines and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass, it was time for the very last announcement. Now, I need to say that all my hopes for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 or even a Monolith Soft game were already gone. And I thought we would get a trailer for example, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But then the trailer started.
Fighting in order to live.
And at this very moment, I started screaming. If there's one thing so freaking iconic about the Xenoblade franchise, it is the British accent. Other than that, I don't remember what I did during the trailer besides screaming and a heart that wanted to jump out of my body. But it was fun. And there it was. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which was originally set to release in September 2022. Now, we all know what happened, but let's roll with it. I was full of enthusiasm and couldn't think straight anymore. The trailer was just so good and I was already interested in what story would be and how it was going to connect to its predecessors, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. On the 19th of April 2022 we got the release date trailer. At this point I was on the bus going home from school and suddenly I got a notification and I think my body froze because I don't think I've ever been so fascinated staring at my phone. It was just like the announcement trailer was so good, but this trailer was phenomenal, what A would say. We got to know a little bit more about Mobius, the villains of the game, and we got some gameplay and a battle system. Until suddenly I had the biggest heart attack of my life.
Not much time to spare, but soon.
Finding a path that lets us all live. I will make that my mission.
July! And after that we got another heart attack for me. There was also a special edition. It was only available through my Nintendo store, and exactly the day the pre-orders would start, the My Nintendo store had some kind of maintenance or something and was then later sold out. So I'm here sitting with no special edition. Finally, a month before Xenoblade Chronicles 3 finally came out, we got a direct specifically dedicated to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And oh boy, we got so much information. We got to know that there were heroes. We saw that the so-called Xenophone was actually a mirror and got a first look at glasses. It just made me even more excited for the game than I already was, and it was so crazy to think that we would just be holding Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in our hands in a month. And then it was finally time. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was released worldwide on July 29th, 2022. And I need to say, it was love at first sight. I immediately fell in love with the game and played it for hours on end. I played it so much that on August 4th, I finished the game 6 days after the release date. Yeah. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is already a year old, and honestly, we can appreciate this masterpiece because holy shit, I have so many good memories of this game. It may not be my favorite game from the franchise, for I think nostalgic reasons, but it is by far the most accessible to new people who have never played a game from the series. Especially with the arrival of the DLC story Future Redeemed, which I will also talk about later in the video. As I said before, I was immediately invested in the characters from the trailers, and afterwards the characters were just so good. The main characters of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 are, of course, Noah, Uni and Lance from Kevis, and Mio, Taion and Senna from Agnes. I was not disappointed at all with these characters when I played the game too. Through the game I started to grow more and more into the characters, their personalities and their overall vibe. After I did everyone's side story, I found Senna and Uni the most interesting with their backstory. I've been interested in Uni's backstory since chapter 3. Uni had a previous life and was murdered there by Mobius, by the first Mobius we encountered in the game. And I was mainly surprised with Senna's, although it was a bit fake at times. I just really liked it and it was a nice quest in general, in my opinion. They are all 6 such amazing and developed characters, and I think Monolith Soft did a great job to give all 6 characters a fascinating and fun backstory that immediately makes you feel attracted to the characters much faster and want to know everything about them and their backstory. One of the greatest things about the game is that you can put a 7th party member, better known as a hero, next to the 6 main characters in your party. You can see this kind of like Blades in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but then it's through quests and not through gacha. This is by far much better than a gacha system because you would have to grind yourself to death for a blade, because I can relate. In total there are 19 heroes in the game, and each hero has a different class that Noah and the rest can equip in the game. A few favorites of mine for no reason are Miyabi, Ashura, Ethel, and the real goat of the game, Troy. But double spoiler alert, but if your favorite character from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 exactly become a hero at the end of the game, they must be my favorite heroes, aka the Queen of Kevis, Melia, and the Queen of Agnes, Nia. Can we please talk about what this game is doing on the fucking Switch? I honestly think it is the most impressive game on the Nintendo Switch by far. The graphics are really top tier, and compared to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it is a big upgrade to say the least. The role of Ionios, like the Bionis and the Mechanos from Xenoblade Chronicles, and all rest from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is just so impressive. That these games are just on the Nintendo Switch, and it looks like this? It is really sick. However, I don't know why, but I was more impressed with the worlds of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. But I think that's purely because with Xenoblade Chronicles you know that each area is actually a different body part of the Bionis or the Mechanos, and that the areas are just so well put together. And for all rest from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, of course, it were titans that people lived on, and I remember being super surprised by Kingdom of Urea because that was within the titan, and how big Mor-Ardain actually was. But despite that, the world of Ionios is so goated. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 just upgraded the world yet again in contrast to its predecessors graphic wise, only it was a slightly smaller wow factor because you actually expect it from Monolith Soft now. Lastly, I want to talk about what happened between the launch of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and where we are now. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is just so good, and that this game is already 1 year old feels so unreal. And what we all got in the meantime, we as Xenoblade Chronicles fans are eating good. Between the game's release and today, we've gotten so much related Xenoblade news. Of course, we got the DLC story Future Redeemed, which they couldn't have done better. And also we got the DLC waves with the heroes Ino and Masha. We finally got the Pyra and Mithra amiibos, and we got an announcement for amiibos for Noah and Mio, which, that was a shocker. As a My Nintendo reward, we received Mio's diary that you can exchange for 500 platinum points. And we got 5 waves of profile pictures for your Nintendo Switch profile, which there was a murder on my points. There will be a Figma figure of Mio made by the Good Smile company, which I actually pre-ordered, so I'm really excited about that. And lastly, there will be certain limited edition soundtracks, which I not pre-ordered because I was too late. All in all, Xenoblade Chronicles fans are eating so well right now. It is so insane. Of course, we don't know what the next step will be for the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise, but the love that Monolith Soft has put not only in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but also in their other games is really absurd, and I want to thank them for that. That was the video. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe, and yeah, and see you the next time. Bye!
Want the ins and outs? Go and ask the doctor.
Alright then, lads and lasses. Who wants to know how babies are made? Well, you're in for a surprise. Buckle up!